Welcome back to Broad Spectrum. I'm Cav,
And I'm Hope.
and this is Arya. She wants to get down there. And we are going to be talking about an array of things today. It's going to be pretty interesting. I hope you guys enjoy. Make sure to leave some comments down below to let us know what you want to hear about in future. Just let us comments in general. We'd love feedback. As a matter of fact, that's what we crave this week. But other than that, roll the intro. Okay. So this week, Pope and I decided that since we're like super nerdy gamers, that most of you probably have already figured that out. And those of you that have known us longer than 2 weeks, or even if you've known us for 2 weeks, we play too many video games. All right. So Pope, since you have so many hours and in the game that we are going to currently discuss, you will go ahead and take this one. You did do everything.
All right, guys. So for this week, what I'm going to go ahead and talk about is the new expansion for World of Warcraft called Battle for Azeroth. Essentially, what it's based off of is for many years in the game, the Alliance and the Horde have been more or less working together to, defeat an enemy that they both have. So, like, that's how the past expansions have been. And this one pretty much is going back to just strictly Horde versus Alliance. I know for a lot of PvPers like myself and a couple of my close buddies who play this game, we are, I mean, to say we're excited is an understatement. I mean, being able to just run around and just gank any person that you see, I mean, it just makes the game much more fun. However, Blizzard did add in a feature. It's called War Mode. If you are one of those PvEers or you want to go be a hardcore RPer, which is very strange, but it's all you. But they put in a War Mode to where you can toggle on and off if you want to participate in World PvP. Um, yeah, you can turn it off, but there are more perks of having it on. Yeah, you may have to get your hands dirty and fight some horde or alliance, whatever side you're on. But you receive more experience, you get additional loot, so on and so forth. So, I mean, and then also in the game they have it set up to where you can only use certain talents and spells, if that's what you want to call them. You can only use certain talents in PvP situations. So when you always have your war mode on, when you're walking around doing your daily quest or whatever, you have those extra perks.
And that's really beneficial because people like you need to be nerfed a little bit. It's not fair to some of the plebs that walk around and get shit on.
Yeah, and in the past, it's called diminishing returns, and it was to where pretty much you couldn't sit and camp one individual person for an endless amount of time. So like you receive what's called honor, and when you kill someone of the opposite faction, you get honor, and that's how you level up your PvP stuff. And they used to have it to where if you killed somebody, I think it was like 3 or 4 times, like you would start off getting 10 honor, and then you'd get like 7, and then you'd get 5, and then you would just wouldn't get any. In this new expansion, they changed it to where, as awful as it sounds, if you want to sit there and camp somebody and just farm honor, you can.
So we're just gonna party up and then unparty.
There you go. But I mean, obviously, it's not just like if you're a level 110 or a 120, because that'll be the new max. You can't go. You can't go and camp, say like a level 15 and sit there and farm them like that. That's just not going to work. It has to be someone who is within your
Honoring.
so say, yeah, so say like if you're 120, you're probably going to have to be killing people 115 and up. But even a 115, I mean, the way the game works, you're still pretty much a one shot. So,
Don't tell me about myself.
but I like the way that they're going with it. It's like I said, like right now we're in a pre-patch for the pre-expansion, and this new patch that they have, they're pretty much laying out the storyline of the Horde's Master Chief. Her name is Sylvanas, so it's showing how she's mounting the attack against the Alliance, and pretty much like just this morning at 10 a.m. they dropped a new little quest line that continued to further the story of why she's doing what she's doing,
Which
and
we spent 30 minutes knocking out.
exactly. So like we got that knocked out. I mean, if y'all want to check it out, you get a free mount out of it. It's pretty sweet. It only takes, like he said, like 30 minutes is an understatement. It took us maybe.
Oh, I mean, it was probably 10 with the extra questing and stuff.
Yeah, and then watching the cinematic and stuff. But
The cinematic was actually pretty dope.
with this game, I mean, I know a lot of people. They always like to say it's real nerdy, and I mean, don't get me wrong, it kind of is, in a sense, to where it's wizard, and that's not wizards, but like you have spells and this and that. But I mean, I just feel like it shouldn't carry that stigma. I feel like if you want a game that you can play and do anything and everything essentially that you want to do, then I mean, it's the game for you. If you want to be the master craftsman and learn different professions and make weapons and mounts and gear, just all of the above, then I mean, it's definitely worth checking out. And especially since Battle for Azeroth is coming out, anyone who picks up the expansion, you get a free 110 character boost.
Yeah, that was some good shit right there.
Which is nice. And I mean, I recommend doing it because it gets action sooner. But I also highly recommend that you start a character off at level 1 and play both sides too. I mean, you can play Alliance, you can play Horde to see what you like.
And what did we start on? Was it Alliance a long time ago?
Yeah, like when I started back, like 2010, 2011, I played Alliance. I played Alliance for years, and then I started seeing, and it all depends on what servers too, because they group different servers together, and you have Horde dominated servers and you have Alliance dominated servers. So depending on your war group, I guess is as they call them for PvP.
Yeah.
I mean, and that's the thing about is like it takes a little bit of research you want to do, but if you want to do raids, which is just a very big, long, PVE, and excuse the pun there, but it's just it's just a PVE experience of you and 10 to 24 other people are trying to accomplish, and it's just it's these boss fights that one boss fight will last 30-45 minutes depending on mechanics.
Dude, yeah, I mean, we went through one last night just for fun, and that took forever. And
that's what I'm saying. Like we went through a level 90 raid.
And let's authenticate your mastery on this game. How many hours do you think you have on it?
I was just looking the other day. Just one of my characters has 34 days logged into it. So 34 times 24 plus whatever the left, and that's just one.
Yeah, I was gonna say you have like 10 characters that are max rank or something.
Yeah, I have a couple that are at max, but I have within the past, because I didn't play Warlords of Draenor, that expansion just rubbed me the wrong way. I didn't enjoy it. But in Cataclysm, Mists of Pandaria, and I guess Legion, and then now BFA, Battle for Azeroth, I have like a core four like characters that I play. So,
well, don't worry, I'll eventually catch up. Yeah.
Yeah, and if there wasn't such extreme like load times, like wait times, because that's how this game works. You'll queue for something, and then you just have to run around and keep busy while you're waiting for it. But if that wasn't the case, I would definitely stream more of WoW. But it's a little hard because there's a lot of blank space and like while we're waiting.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So,
I think another thing about that is just the best you'd probably be able to do is make more of a YouTube video or something, like record as you're going in or something.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Just do something and show people the difference of a raid, show them the difference of
I
a
mean,
dungeon.
what we can do is both of us can stream. I'm actually debating on streaming just this update. And your update and my update are going to be pretty interesting. But I feel like you could probably give some good insight when you're streaming when the new update drops. It doesn't really matter on queue times because people are probably going to be there just to talk in general to see how it's going. So
Yeah, that's very true. Like on opening day, I
shit,
do
day
believe.
before opening day, you could start earlier than that because people are going to be like, all right, are you doing the drop? Like, what are you? Well, and a lot of people with another thing is, I'm like a retired everything at this point. I was a low streamer. I had an affiliate status, but um, a lot of people are probably going to ask your authentication. Like, I don't know, well, not like that, but to see how well you know the game and if you are actually good. And I think
Oh
that's something
yeah,
that I see all the time from a lot of
yeah,
people.
and I mean I'm not one of the players. Like I mean I have friends of mine who've been playing since the very beginning, but
Hmm.
I was about 4 years late to the party. But seeing it's been around for 12 years, I mean I've been playing it longer than I haven't. So
This is the most I've actually played the game too. So
yeah, and I mean and what's weird is this is the most that you played, yeah, but it's still I mean
it's
it
enjoyable.
just yeah
But that's the thing.
and
Like,
it
this is definitely for me. This is a game that I need someone else there. Like, I can't do this by myself.
Yeah, well, especially like when you're learning it like you are, but once you understand how the game works and how it plays,
Yeah,
I
that's
mean, you
fair.
don't want to have to sit around and wait for somebody because when this new expansion drops, like if I'm not playing or somebody else you know isn't playing, you're just going to be like, screw it, here we go. And you're just going to do it.
Yeah, and then all right. So, you have anything else for your topic, real quick?
Um, no, I just encourage everyone, not that you have to buy the game or anything,
There's a
but
trial.
there is a trial. I know a lot of people don't like the fact that you have to pay a monthly fee to play this game, which you do. But once you see everything that goes into the game, it kind of makes sense because everything is always changing. There's always new material.
Yeah, this is an actual game that they continuously update. So
Yeah, exactly. So it's not just like they don't just throw out a DLC and they're like, all right, play that for. No, they
this isn't a
like
console game.
yeah. Within a DLC, there's easily between in a year. There's easily between six to seven patches. Six, 7 or 8
Major,
patches.
major.
Yeah,
Not like here's a 9.2.1.2.3.
yeah.
Like, no,
Like they do that every
major.
week for they do that every week for hot fixes. But I mean, as far as like true like large patches, like that's what
Yeah.
it's nice.
All right. So what I'm going to talk about, since I'm also a super nerd, um, is Destiny. Uh, the new Destiny game came out. Destiny 2 came out a year ago, and it was horrible.
Indeed, it
It
was.
was literally a continuation of the original game, which made no sense because most people spent $60. I spent $100, and I know you could have spent more. I almost spent the max amount. It was like 200 or something for the collector's edition. I'm really glad I didn't because it came with a bag and a blanket, and really wasn't worth it. I've been seeing people try to resell them and they can't even sell them for $100, so it feels good, man. But Bungie took forever, and this year during Forsaken, they're actually doing something great. They're actually reinventing the game. They're actually making Destiny 2 Destiny 2. So this whole last year has pretty much just been a continuation of year one or game one. So what Forsaken to me is actually Destiny 2, and a lot of people don't understand that because the way that I played it um, was super tactical. It was super aggressive, and like the way that they updated it. I feel like the game was a little different because they updated it for the people that weren't hardcore gamers, the ones that took advantage of the people that couldn't necessarily keep up with like most of the competitive players. Like, and that was the problem. Like now it's like, oh, it's all about how well you can stay at distance and have like 15 people shooting at someone. When I used to be able to 1v6 a team, like it was not an issue. And the problem now is that like people hide in corners together, and I used to be able to destroy people like that. But they're coming out with new subclasses, which is nice because they've had the same 3 since almost the original base start of the game, the original game. They're also coming out with new maps, so that's going to be really interesting. They are throwing in a new enemy finally, which is taken them 4 years to do. And there's going to be new weapons, and all that stuff is going to be very crucial for the game to actually feel like a new game, to finally feel updated. And that is something that they've been looking and missing for I don't know how long.
In all honesty, what actually got me to want to play this game again was the trailer for Forsaken.
Yeah, it was actually like they actually put a lot of time into the cinematic.
Well, I mean, not even just that. I mean, the Destiny's always had decent cinematics. It's just as far as watching the new weapons and the new
Oh yeah.
like like the new armor that they're putting out. Like I saw these ones, they're Titan boots, like Titan exotic boots
Yeah.
that when you are in a sprint and you slide, you can deflect projectiles.
Oh yeah. I remember hearing about that one.
Yeah, so you have that, and then I mean, just bows. I mean, just bows alone, especially coming from playing Overwatch as much as we did. That just reminds me of going all Hanzo on somebody. So.
I'm really excited for this update. I'm like, I I don't really know. They've also already named all the DLCs, so they already have everything planned, which sort of makes me feel a little bit more optimistic, seeing as it feels like they've actually put a lot more effort into it. Because if I'm not mistaken, so far like they used to come out with names, but they could never like pin it down. It was always like, well, this could be the name. This might be the name, which sort of felt like they didn't even have a clue of what the story was going to be about. And now it's like they have everything, and it doesn't necessarily feel like these are going to make any sense, but it's a step in the right direction, in my opinion. So
Yeah, I agree.
God, dog.
But when's the release date?
I actually don't know that one. Let me look it up for you. Pre-order. Let me see what the pre-order date says.
I believe it's September, right?
It's I think it's either beginning of September or end of October. The problem is Legendary Collector's Edition PC. That comes with Can I not? I hate that you like the one thing that bothers me the most is you can't buy their stuff on their website. Doesn't make any sense. I'm like on Bungie's website and you can't buy it. Play on release day. Well, would you tell me the day? September 4th.
September what now?
September 4th. So we
go.
have like almost a month to play WoW before we'll be able to touch Destiny. And for my credibility on Destiny, I had on the original game, on just Xbox alone, I had like over 3,000 hours. And then PlayStation added another couple hundred. And then Destiny 2 on console added another couple hundred. But I couldn't get into it like I did.
Yeah, I think over the span of, I don't even remember exactly how long it was that I played Destiny, but Destiny 2, that is.
Mm-hmm.
Like when you say it out loud, I think when I say only, because it's really not that much, I think I only put 20 hours into it. Or like maybe 28 hours, like something like, it wasn't anything, like, I don't know. I think Bungie did something great and I was real bummed when they first left Halo, because if everyone remembers, Bungie was the people who designed Halo.
Oh.
And then Halo went to Microsoft, the 343 Studios, which garbage. I think.
Oh yeah, that game. I hated 5.
And then so then Bungie took on the whole Destiny, adventure to it all. And I know the first year in Destiny, like the original Destiny, I had quite a few people who played it, and all those people who played it disliked it until year 2 of D1, and then everyone loved it. And then from then on out, it was just one of the greatest games. Like, I mean, I pretty much started playing, I think, year 2
Mm-hmm.
of Destiny, of D1, and
Yeah.
I enjoyed everything about D1. Year 1 of D2 comes out, and it was just
complete garbage.
Yeah.
And I feel like, and the problem is, it's gonna feel the same way that it did back, how it was with Destiny 1. It's like you're not playing it till year 2 again. Like,
yeah,
you have to wait until they tweak shit, and that's the part that loses them so many some people to play, like fans, like repeat gamers just because they take so long to actually follow up on their goals, their
Well,
promises.
and then they do what's called sandbox updates, and they try to promise everybody like, oh, it's going to be so different, and then there's just then that was I just don't see how you have D2 and I'm well, sorry, you have D1, which leading up to D2 was probably one of the greatest FPSs I've ever played. I mean, like those just the way the game handled like everything.
Yeah.
And then you drop D2 and you don't keep any of your changes that made your first game so great.
Yeah, they try to revert back to some things that they wanted, and it's just like, what?
And I mean, I know me personally, like I quit playing it,
Mm-hmm.
and
I get to the point on Destiny 2 where I beat the raid, the first raid. Like I had 2 characters ready to go, and then I was done with it.
and then I watched a recording of the first raid, and I think it was just very lazy, very I mean just extremely lazy.
It's
It
a lot.
was
Yeah, it's a lot
just
easier than it should have been.
ridiculous. Yeah, it was well not even easy. It's just redundant and dumb. Like it was all about jumping on like that's to me that's not a mechanic. Like jumping here and squatting 2 times and emoting and you're like, what the hell? Like why am I like this is that's not a raid mechanic. But I mean maybe it's because I mean I raided for
Yeah,
years in World of Warcraft and then I try to do like a raid in Destiny and it just seems
the raids are
it's just, yeah,
And
they're a bit dumb.
oh god, sorry about the gaming rant, guys. That's this week for games. You have okay, so this is gonna be jumping really quick, but anything happening in school this week?
Uh, just
Just new
starting
class.
a new yeah, just starting a new class, and that's about it.
Alrighty. I do want to ask you a question. You want to go to Florida with me in December?
I don't know. That's actually, I mean, it would be cool because that's when you're gonna walk. But
Yeah, that's why I was asking.
yeah, with where I work, I can't request days off like normal people can.
Oh, it's all right.
Yeah, our leave policy's broken. So
It's the 16th. I think you'll be good.
yeah, well, like most people, like in most professions, like you just said, the 16th.
Yeah, I guess.
I yeah, like I could be able to text my boss right now and be like, hey, the 16th of December, I'm gonna take a vacation day, and they'd be like, okay, cool. Now me, I wouldn't even be able to tell you until the morning of the 16th if I could.
Well, no.
Which, like, how do you make plans off of that?
Yeah, I know. It's all good. I'm not worried. But yeah. Other than that, guys, Pope's going to Florida with me. He has no choice now.
Yep, there you go.
And I'm going to be at his house next weekend. So 2 weeks from now. 2 weeks from now, we will have maybe, depending on how we work it out, we might be able to record a podcast side by side.
Yeah,
So,
that would be pretty sweet.
We'll see how that works out. Hopefully, one of our computers can handle 2 mics.
Yeah, that would be. It's gonna have to be something to look into.
I will bring mine though, so we'll work this out.
All right.
Alrighty. But other than that, guys, thanks for listening. Hope you enjoyed. Make sure you leave some comments, other fun stuff. I'm Kev,
Hope.
and that was Broad Spectrum.
All right. Thanks, guys.